So, hello, the ones that you are arriving. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our awareness meetings online during this period of quarantena. Good morning, everyone. Good to see you. Welcome to awareness meetings online. So good to see you after this weekend and all the things that we are going through in these momentums of mankind, where all the world is going almost into quarantena. So hello from France, hello from Russia, hello from Ibiza, from Greece, from Portugal, from Spain. Hello, everyone from Ukraine, from Portugal again. So, everyone, welcome to our awareness meetings at Tuesdays and Fridays. I'm from Holland. Hello from Holland. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. And I'm so happy to be here with you again during these weekly online meetings that we call awareness meetings. Hello, everyone. So this week, I want to send my prayers to everyone that is fighting with this for their lives with coronavirus, and for every other sickness that you are fighting for life, and to all the people that they have and they are going through very hard moments for food, for shelter, uh, and that make us think how this coronavirus puts the finger on the big wound that is now the rich countries are going through very hard moments. And how could we close our eyes to all these situations that people they go through in such poverty and lack of shelter, food, the basic of life all these years, and we don't do much. So let's take this opportunity to see from this situation that we are all living globally, how can we really wake up so we can rewrite our man and women history in this global situation? How can we really wake up so when we come out of this, we can really transform life, not only for ourselves and our family, but our brothers and sisters globally. So my prayers today is for everyone that is in deep pain, that they are already going through a lot of stress from this situation, and you are dealing with fears and doubts. May we rise into awareness so we can transform all the wounds that we carry inside into trust and brotherhood and sisterhood. So in the future, when we really speak about mankind, we can be proud of the word humanity. We need more and more awake people in our daily life, not only when we are going through this big situation. And because we are going through this big situation, let us use this time to rise into awareness. So welcome everybody from Italy, from Kiev, that you are just arriving in this moment. Hello everyone, and hello from Mexico, Tom. I'm so glad to be here with you. So today the theme is how addictions are so powerful, and how they never really fulfill us deeply, and how they betray us at the end. And we will speak in terms, not in drugs only, what we say about cocaine, morphine, LSD, whatever, MDMA. We are going to speak in addictions in a much deeper way than we are used to. So today it's about Where do you really become a slave? In what situations that you totally lose your freedom and somehow you sell a part of your authentic being? So in that moment you receive a little bit of relief of the pain that we carry. And why do we are compelled to become addicted, and how that comes from our society and the way we live. So it's not about guilt or shame, it's about being really honest with ourselves and to have the possibility to work with that. It's a very important theme that we all need to look in different areas and in different ways that we do it. So I hope today we can really support each other to rise into our awareness, so we can really start to transform the way we live and especially the way we feel inside. So welcome everybody, welcome. And we will start with our grounding, connecting meditation. So take a deep breath, everyone. Put your feet on the ground, and the ones that you are seated in lotus position. Just straight your back and align your spine. Breathing in, breathing out, allowing the heaviness of your body to be felt against the floor or the chair or the mattress. Pushing your feet against the ground and feeling how solid it is. Breathing in, breathing out. Just recognizing how this ground is supporting right now your body, your being. Breathing in, breathing out. And now visualizing under the ground of your house, planet Earth, Pachamama. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Just visualizing all these mountains and deserts and forests and jungles, full of colors, full of sounds and wonders. All the plants, all the trees, all the animals, all the oceans, the depth of each ocean, the lakes. Breathing in, breathing out. The storms, the winds, the rains, the sun, the night, the dark night full of stars. Breathing in, breathing out. Feeling how everything is full of life, vibrating this vitality where we all meet in this deep breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Everything breathing together. This oxygen and dioxide, this change, this interdependence, breathing in, breathing out, that we all are a part of it. And even if you are in quarantena, locked inside of your house, that this connection, this deep, deep connection, nobody can steal from you. Breathing in, breathing out. How this deep connection is always here. Just a question of slowing down and remembering to breathe in, breathe out, and to recognize that we are all together. Breathing in, breathing out. Finding a place in your body that you feel relaxed. Maybe your feet, maybe your legs, maybe your belly or heart, maybe your arms and shoulders or neck, or hand, inviting your breath to that place and enjoying that relaxation. Breathing in, breathing out, expanding that relaxation to every part of your body, every part of your heart and mind, to all of who you are. Breathing in, breathing out. One deep breath and open your eyes. So, hello everyone, welcome to our awareness meetings. So, these momentums are really deep work where we will dive inside so we can face who we truly are, and especially to face all the strategies of self-defense during our life and to work with them so we can really allow our authentic being to have more space. And authentic being always means to rise in our consciousness. So today it's about um, addictions. Uh, Addictions, normally there's a big judgment around addictions. We normally see addictions as a person that doesn't have the power of choice, and normally we think that addictions are only alcohol and drugs. Directly in our mind we go into this normally too, but especially into drugs, into these substances. And why? Because socially they are judged and criticized, and because there's a big business around where we put our focus on condemning. But here, what we want to speak about today, what I really want to speak about today with you, is all the kind of addictions that they doesn't allow us to be free and to go beyond the substances. So addictions, in this awareness meeting, we will focus in everything that we surrender ourselves, that we lose our capacity to say no, to choose how we want to feel, to behave, and to take. Uh, and we can't say no, so we become slaves of it. We lose quality of inner life, we lose the quality of our capacity to choose how we want to live, because somehow we feel physically and emotionally and mentally that we can't live without behave, feeling, action, or substances. So, for example, drugs, alcohol, tobacco, sleeping pills, toxic relations, TV, food, um, complaining, specific kind of thoughts. What happens is that when we become addicted to something, we need to ask ourselves why, and not to judge ourselves that we are consistently doing it. If we want to really want to work with addictions, we need to first of all to ask why somehow we became addicted to a certain substance or behavior or feeling or person even. Because the why will bring us the window where we need to look and to heal that part. And normally the window opens to a big wound that we felt, big pain, big stress or big trauma, and we are compelled to run away from that pain, to feel that deep pain, and we look for anything that allow us to stop feeling that pain, and that bring us some relief, some calmness, some peacefulness, some feeling of true connection. Because normally when we are in deep pain, we disconnect from the life force. We even lose the trust in the whole, in this vitality, this that we are being held by life itself. So when we are in addiction behavior, we need to always to see and to look where the pain, or what pain are we trying to avoid. And if you see there is people that they can use substances, or sometimes they can smoke tobacco when they want, or sometimes they can use drugs when they want, or they can drink one glass of wine when they want, but they are free from the need to go back to these behaviors and substances and feelings, because they are not looking from a way to release themselves, but has an experience of that momentum, and they are totally relaxed on using it or behaving it one or several times. So we need to look to all the situations that we are drawn to it, because we want to feel free of this pain that we carry, and many times is so unconscious that we don't even understand why we keep on having these behaviors. But what we feel is that in that moment we feel relaxed, connect, um, calm, totally enjoy, that normally we can't feel, that we feel trust, that we feel uh, connected with the whole, that we can have self-love, self-esteem. So all addictions, all these behaviors, even shopping, I have a lot of clients that they can even take a flight just to go shopping in the other side of the globe. Clients that they are drowned. Alcohol and drugs is the most common. For example, when I meet somebody and I say, do you take drugs, do you have any kind of addictions? Mainly in our society, in this momentum, especially from 22 to 50, answers are like this: no, I don't have any addiction. And I say, okay, so but do you take sometimes? And yes, of course, everyone does it. I say, okay, how many times? And normally the answer is like, the normal: Fridays, Saturdays, and sometimes on weekdays. And then I ask, so you are telling me that at least 4 times a week or 3 times a week you take any substances, and you don't see that somehow you are drawn to these substances. And people normally they react like an open eyes, and they start to think, yes, it's true, but everyone does it. Or sometimes when we think when we speak about the phone connection, when we ask people, how many times do you look to your phone even if you don't receive any answer? It's very common that now people look to the phone um, just to see if they have some interaction, even if it's a virtual interaction. So we are speaking in these moments every kind of situations that we are drowned, so somehow we can fulfill ourselves in an area that we don't feel this deep connection, this deep love, self-trust, worthiness, recognition. We are looking with these behaviors to relieve pain. Normally, it's always like this. And when people start to come and to work in this addictions area that most of us we have in our life, and it can be, we can be workaholic too, so we avoid the pain that somehow in the past we were not recognized, and through work we can feel our worthiness and value. Or somehow with being workaholic, what happens is we avoid the life environment at home because somehow is not authentic, is not pleasant, or we can't really feel understood, or somehow we don't know how to be parents. So to go home means that we need to be with kids and we don't know how to be present. We are speaking about all these behaviors that we find ourselves in a way so we can fulfill some of our needs that they are not, and we can avoid the pain. So everyone, I would like to see from your comments if these words and talk that I'm saying, if it's helping you to face some areas inside of your being. So I have here from Irina, so many addictions continue to stay in shadow of my recognition. Exactly, recognition is it's a part. Yes, recognize some. So bring me your addictions. How do you recognize your addictions? As usual, yes. Okay, so it helps. So let me see your addictions. So for some will be phone. For some will be alcohol, for some will be cocaine, for some will be sex, toxic relations, for some will be image. Where do you feel that you lose freedom, that you are drawn to it, that you need to repeat that behavior, that you are compelled? Sex. Okay, working hard. Fantastic. Bring me your addictions. You know, here we really work deep. Alcohol, fantastic. Tobacco, yes. Tobacco, sugar, fantastic. Smoking, yes. Food, yes. Movies, eating disorder, yes. Sex, fantastic. Yes, I want to know what are your addictions that you can see. Yes, being good for everyone, fantastic. Eating, yes. Sweet food, phone, yes. Sex, alcohol, work, tobacco, and all the experience that make me to forget reality for a bit, fantastic. Pain, yes. Social networks, alcohol, toxic relation. Quit smoking, but still used vaporizing. Yes. Toxic thoughts. Speak a lot. Phone, toxic relations. Yes. So bring me more social networks. Can be about doubts about yes, can be doubts. Fantastic. Fantastic. So for now, thank you for your honesty. Fun and sometimes games. Isolation, exactly. So I will speak a little bit about each addiction in general, and then we will do an exercise. For example, addiction to sex. When we are addicted to sex in a way that we are compelled always to do, and there's this anger for sex, this need for sex, most of the times it means that through sexuality we feel a discharge. Through the orgasm we feel the discharge, or during sex we can play the game of being used and use the other, is where we can most of the times to release a lot of anger and repressed emotions. So where, or that we can be our wild animal, for example, or play the victim or the abuser, or simply to have this release, this discharge from the orgasm. That's why so many people are addicted to masturbation in many times of a day, not only to have sex with another person, but there's a tendency during the day, for example, they feel an emotion, they masturbate. They feel a numbness, they masturbate. They see something that triggers them, they masturbate. This is very common in our society, not only in men, but in women too. And this is deeply connected normally from a strong stress in the past, especially in our childhood, where a lot of people, they were emotional abuse and physical abuse, not only through uh, sexual abuse, but beaten. So there was a big tension on repressing and holding this capacity of being abused, emotional and physical abuse. And when they were growing into their sexuality, teenagehood, uh, this energy was, and doesn't mean that everyone goes through this pattern, but it was directed to sexuality. Why? Because in sexuality they started to feel a big release and pleasure. So through the pleasure they could stop for some moment, at least for a moment, to stop the pain, stop the fear of being abused or attacked. And in that moment, they felt this release and expansion of pleasure, at least for seconds. That's why a lot of people, they go back to masturbation many times a day. Of course, this will take them to a deep isolation, and sometimes using the other people has an instrument to get that pleasure and to feel that release of that pain that most of the times is very unconscious. Um, so it's not really a true connection and true intimacy, a true sharing is more like a hunter for a possibility to discharge and to release. And a lot of people in these sex addictions, they feel really lonely, and they don't even, sometimes they want to look to the other person or people, but the thoughts about sexuality and the need to release is so big that they can't even relate from authentic place, because their true authentic being is totally locked inside of the jail of this old pain. That's why we see nowadays a lot of teenagers and movies in society that we give a lot of attention of the hunters. They go at night or in the day and they hunt for these connections that it's only about pleasure and instruments for this momentum. But it's very hard to go back to true intimacy and true sharing. That's why a lot of people, um, these kind of people, they choose then partners that they feel safe in a way that they can use a lot of sex, but they are not sharing life, or they go to the safe relations that they can be treated like a child, that they are the son or the daughter. But somehow it's very hard to put sexuality and love at the same level, because inside of them the pain of these deep relations doesn't allow them to coexist love and sexuality. One means that the other can't exist, and that goes back to their childhood. uh, Drugs and alcohol, and that allows them. So about sexuality, am I helping you with this sexuality? Who felt inside that something was moving? Because you have a subtleness of this situation, because you know someone, because you feel a little bit um, judging and criticizing. Who felt that something was moving inside? You can write me your comments so we can interact and we can go deeper and deeper today. It's a very important subject about the addiction. I feel everything you said. Fantastic. Yes, many parts starts moving. Yes, perfect. It did it. Fantastic. Yes. Okay. I know that sexuality is a big thing for our society, not sexuality in terms of the act of sex, but is a profound theme of how sex and true intimacy can be together. I've been working, but it appears time to time. Exactly. Yes. Fantastic. Fantastic. Yes, it moves something. Perfect. About drugs and alcohol. So, about any substances that allow us to feel more relaxed, that allow us to expand our capacity of connection, not only with others, but with our true connection, and connection with the whole, where we feel a part of it. That most of the time we can have a deep experience of interconnections and belonging. um, every substances that allows the level of our stress to be reduced in that moment. Any substances that allow us to feel more self-loving, self-trusting, worthy, and that we can relax in a place that the pain and the worriness and the doubts, they just fade away. So any substances, even sleeping pills, that sleeping is a true need of the physical body, um, or pills of humor, stabilizers of humor, antidepressives. And of course, there's many situations that people really need, but in our society, we are giving this to people just as a form of relief, and not really to treat the reason why we start to feel like this. So any substances that we become um, compelled to take day by day, hour by hour, so we can really allow at least a little moment of stress relief, pain relief, doubt relief, and we are compelled to come back so we can feel again that pleasure, that sensation of tranquility, peace, calmness, belonging, trusting, loving. Every substances that we become slaves because only with them we can feel like that. What it means is that somehow we, in this momentum of life, we can't go into the wounds and to release ourselves and to heal ourselves and to transform that, so we can live from an inner space with quality, inner quality of life. So if you have a situation where you have this behavior, and that is not your fault, is not your fault, is your responsibility, of course. But I don't believe in this kind of therapy that we blame people with these behaviors, addicted behaviors, where we point always that they are the guilty ones, because normally a person that have addicted behavior is because they have a true difficulty to deal with this pain that they want to avoid. And the use of drugs and alcohol is the way that they could find in a moment, so they could feel this release, even if after always taking and the effect goes is gone, they feel this big pain to come back to reality with a charge of what they did, because they lost this momentum pleasure, this pleasure in the moment, and they feel even worse because somehow this release is gone, and they have the same problem if it's unconscious, with the charge that they lost what they were looking for. So any addictions of substances means that you have a true pain, a big pain from your past that it needs attention. And the pain always give, the amount of the pain that you carry always give you the sign, the amount of lack of self-love and trust in yourself and in life that you need to recover again. If it's possible, yes, it is. It's totally possible. And it will depend on you if you are ready to work with it. It will depend how much you really want to work with it. So, for example, I receive a lot of people that they have normal lives, they can sustain even their families, but they have addictions, true addictions, cocaine, any other kind of drugs, alcohol, but they are functionals, sex, um, phone. The biggest question for them is, and I see all kind of addictions, or has a lack of consciousness. So addiction means that somehow we can't face something that is in our consciousness and is controlling ourselves. So the way that I have to help them is to help them to blossom in their consciousness. So for example, when people that they are functional, they have normal life, but they have these addictions problems, they come to me, and we come to a point that they recognize it's true. I have addictions to these substances, to this situation, to this person. Everything that I always recommend in the beginning is, um, if you are not ready to let go, and I totally understand that in the first moments you are not ready, what I recommend is do it. But when you do it, really stay awake. Why do you do it? Why do you take a substances? How do you feel in that moment? What are you looking for? And why are you looking for? For example, um, everyone is doing. I want to do it. I want to feel this high. I want to feel this joy. I want to release myself and to connect with people easier than normally I can. So the first step, if you are not ready to let go addictions, is when you are doing, you really stay conscious when you in what you are doing and asking yourself, why am I doing and why I'm compelled to do in this moment. So you start to bring awareness to that moment. And of course, in the beginning, that for most of people take months, and for others takes just weeks, and sometimes you will start to feel the truth of why you are taking that substances and why and how normally you will do it. And then, of course, you need always to have the conscious work during the situation, but after, where you can inquire, and you have a person that can give you feedback and can quest with yourself where it comes the need of you to come out of reality, so you don't deal with this need, frustration, pain that takes you to that situation. So everyone, if this talk is helping you, please write me so I can to see if I can go deeper, or if I need to explain a part of this talk a little bit better or clear. Yes, fantastic. Crystal clear, fantastic. Yes, please, fantastic. Yes, yes, fantastic. Perfect. Good that I'm clear enough and I can support you. Fantastic. Go deeper. We will. Thank you. Yes. Fantastic. Thank you. I will keep this big comment so for the questions. Fantastic. From Julia. Okay. So, first of all, I want you to see yourself as a divine being, as a source of life. First of all, I want to invite you to come to a place where you can recognize that you are a life force beyond the personality structure. And I want to invite you to see that for centuries and still now we are living in a society that we are not invited to live from our authentic being, but from roles and masks. I want to invite you to recognize that you always have the choice and the power inside of you to do the work that is the path back to yourself. I want to invite you to recognize, no matter how much pain, no matter how much horrible experience you have in your life, you have the capacity to ask for help. You have the capacity to say, I need help. You have the capacity to forgive yourself no matter what, and stop judging and criticizing yourself, and look to the personality structure and the ego structure has a possibility to work with yourself. If we don't come out of this judging and criticizing way of living. What we are doing always, is to putting us in a position that we can do anything. It's that we putting ourselves in the position of victims, that we are always the wounded ones. We need to recognize, as human beings, we were wounded because of centuries of the way society is living itself, and human beings are drawn to it. And we are the first of the generations that we have the possibility to say we can do something into our awareness and consciousness. Because for centuries, conscious work was only for gurus and masters. And now we all have the possibility in a global mass events to wake up more and more, step by step. And here is what you are doing. So right now, the ones that you recognize, all the strong addictions, subtle addictions, you have the possibility to work with yourself. And that's the precious thing. And that's the beauty. And you don't need to criticize yourself and to beat yourself even more. Only through honesty, only through a deep commitment to yourself, that is the commitment to come back to self-love, to come back to true consciousness, you will go through. And that, I'm sure, every being is sacred, even the worst one. The worst being that inflicts terrible pain on others, it means that is very unconscious and very wounded. But somehow we want to put all the negative projections on them, because somehow we can't be responsible for our own. Doesn't mean that we don't see the terrible facts, the terrible actions, and that we are horrified and we need to put limits. It's the same thing with our own addictions. By only accepting that, only accepting this, that we have this addiction, strong or subtle, we can start to work with it. So, everyone, take a deep breath. Everyone, close your eyes, and I will guide you through a very small exercise that you can use every day of your life, so we can really start releasing ourselves from the slavery of the behaviors and of those feelings, and to be drawn to repetitive behavior, so we can somehow stop the pain, but never stops. That's why all the addictions, they betray us all the time. They betray us because when the effect is ended, we feel everything again. And a lot of time, after addiction, after behavior, we even lose the connection of what brought us here. And that is the path that we need to go, is to come back, to become connected of what brought us there, to that need of avoiding those feelings. Or how could we feel more connected again? Because at the end, what we want through any kind of addiction is to feel what? More connected, more to feel our worthiness, to feel our self-love, deep relaxation, a true sense of belonging. So when we are trying to find this, it means that somehow we are lost. We don't feel that in our daily lives. And it began in our past. So everyone, take a deep breath. And another deep breath. Close your eyes. And right now, put your hands in your heart. Breathing in, breathing out. And in this moment, choose one addiction that you have in this moment of your life. It can be a very strong addiction. It can be a very subtle one. Choose one. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. And see through that behavior, substances, and feelings, when you experience, what do you achieve? What are the results that you feel inside of yourself? How do you feel when you are taking that substances, or when you are looking for sex and you are having more sex, or masturbation, or when you go to TV or food? What do you get in that moment? Or alcohol, or ganza, or speaking, or buying. What do you get in that moment? How do you feel in that precise moment? Breathing in, breathing out, and open your eyes. Please write me, what do you feel in that moment? What do you get from it? Please write the comments on Facebook Direct. No. What do you get when you do? I feel safe. Exactly. What release of tension? Exactly. Bring pleasure. Fantastic. Safe boundaries. Fake pleasures. Fantastic. Feel safe. Comfort, protection, like a child. And I space facing my emotion. I numb myself for feeling. Is what you know. Sensation of relief. Fantastic. Released. Guilt is already what happens after. In that moment that you do, what do you feel? What are you looking for? I feel this sense of fulfillment, humbleness, belonging, not having to think about anything else, enjoy, pleasure, protection and comfort. I may irritate, excited, attention, sense of full, excitement, get far away from reality, pleasure, uh, help me to think, subtle present that never makes me alone, feel alone, busy, not in the moment, relief, exact, relax, comfort company, fantastic. That's it. So this means everyone take a deep breath, because you are touching deep stuff in yourself. Even if you think with the mind, you are opening the space where we are vulnerable in these addictions. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. So what you have discovered, and for sure many people of you already knew, is what you really miss in your life. So it's what you need to work with yourself. And therapy and shamanism and meditation can and will support you, and you need to work with that. When it started, why it became repeated. No anxious is what you are looking for. Relax is what you are looking for. Feeling control is what you are looking for. Not feeling alone is what you are looking for. So all what you look for in the substances or behaviors that become addictive is what you need to work in your life. Take a deep breath, everyone, now. Breathing in, breathing out. That's it. That's it. So the next exercise is you to do in your daily life. From now on, if you want to support a true transformation, you need, when you catch yourself in this addictive behavior, you need to, in that moment, to bring awareness and to see why you started, what is giving you, and what is the illusion of not the illusion of what you experience, because you truly experience, but what is the illusion that you will stay in that addictive behavior. That is the most important. During the addicted behavior, a big tool for you is to bring awareness to how you do it and why you do it. And many people, when we start working after some weeks, they start to say, I can see what I was really looking for, and somehow I don't have so much pleasure by doing it. And I start to feel and to see how I start to hurt myself with the repetition of this behavior. And that's so beautiful when they start to see. So cocaine, for example, what they express when we start to work in this way, that is not cutting the addictive behavior and the substances, is they start to express and to share that somehow, for example, cocaine. I'm taking the cocaine and I feel all this anxiety coming in, and before I would be excited and I would enjoy this feeling, but I can start to feel the stress of being in that momentum full of energy, and I can start to see and to feel the chemistry on my body and how it's hurting my body. I can see, even feel the pain of the chemistry on my mouth, and I can even feel the organs. So bringing this awareness to this momentum of what you are doing, or for example, the sex, when we are addicted to sex, and I ask them, see, when you are hunting a person, what is the game that you like? What is the game? And people start to share with me that I can feel, I don't see the person. I can feel how I manipulate them. I can feel how cold I am and how I excited myself to hunt that person. But then when it's over the game, when I can hunt, how can I even feel this? What do I do this to this person? Yeah? So bringing awareness to that moment that we are in the addiction behavior will bring you to what you need to start confronting in yourself. And that's a beautiful path, I can honestly say. It's very beautiful what we start to find in ourselves. And even people that they are facing death with addiction, that is a total different process for them. I want to tell you, will only work with your addictions when you want. You will only work with your addictions when you are already somehow at the bottom of what you receive from it. You will only work with addictions when you truly commit to your self-love. And nobody can push you. Nobody can do it the work for yourself. That's why I never say no to people that have addictions. I know one day they will do it. And I strongly believe that when we guide people to face their own wounds and to blossom more and more in consciousness, addictions, step by step, they will fade away, because somehow people see and understand and feel even physical physically, that they don't receive what they are looking for. Instagram direct, we are going down. I will reconnect in 1 second. So Facebook, please wait so I can reconnect everyone. Here we go again. So we are connecting again to Instagram direct. Welcome everyone again to this talk about addictions and how we want immediate pleasure so we can avoid pain and doubts and at the end mistrust and incapacity of understanding that we are worthy and to feel our self-love because of our past, because of our traumas, because of our wounds, and how awareness can really help us, and how we are betrayed because at the end addictions, it's impossible for them to really fulfill our true needs, and only by healing and giving attention and bringing awareness to those wounds, the wounded parts, to those traumas, we can really transform that and to give what we need, that is attention and true care and true love to our wounded parts. So every time that we work with addictions, it's a very spiritual path because we are working in our authentic self, has holistic way. So we are working on our physical health, our emotional health, where most of our wounds are, where we repress all these emotions so we don't feel the pain. We are working in our belief systems and how we perceive the world. And normally when people are addicted, normally the perception is very traumatic from the world, and because they were very traumatized and they lived strong stress situations that brought them a lot of pain. And in the spiritual level, what we work with addictions is in the impossibility of truly feeling this deep connection and belonging to this ecosystem that we call life itself. For some, they will call God, higher self, but this macrocosmos where we come from. And normally, if we go directly to the microcosmos, we don't feel that we belong to family environment because there was a lot of negligence, there was a lot of trauma, stress there, or even that at the school and friends environment, somehow we were very criticized, judged, bullied. So this belonging, this spiritual connection that we call, that is this faith, we lost faith in life, is where the big wound in spirituality is the loss of faith, not religion, is the loss on faith about the beauty and innocence in life. But I want to tell you that you can do it. You can recover that for yourself. Working with a lot of people that they have addictions, working with even criminals, with mafia, with people that they did things that they regret. I can tell you that you can recover your innocence, that you can recover your health. It's a question, how are you willing to do the path back to yourself, to do the steps back to yourself? And we need to be very brave because there's a lot of pain around it. At the same time, when you go through the layers of pain, when you bring awareness to these situations, you will have a true sense of deep freedom, because the pain that is locked inside of you, that is controlling in your unconscious, because you repressed, because you were not available, because you were so afraid, because even when you were a child, your nervous system had to turn off so you could survive as a child. Everything is there. And what we don't bring awareness step by step, what we don't release into awareness will control you. So this path back to your consciousness, back to your freedom, is a path to your authentic being. That is innocence. That is true consciousness. Innocent doesn't mean that you don't face reality. Innocence is your most beautiful, deep sense of faith in life, where even facing the most horrible uh, situations in life, inside of you that you committed to yourself or others, or that you see outside, you still have the faith that we can transform, that we all globally can grow into this beautiful humanity. And that is what we call faith. So addictions are an amazing opportunity for you for your true growth. I want you to recognize, I want to invite you to this work. Don't judge your addictions in this moment. Use them to really see. Physical exercise can be addiction. Toxic relations can be addiction. To stay in the safe relation can be addiction, and can show you how wounded you are to stay in this safe relation, and you don't really jump for life and go for passion and go for unconditional love. So you don't risk to stay in a safe relation. It means that you are looking for mommy and daddy in this moment, because your child was so wounded. Now that you give up everything, so just to have this safetyness. And I'm not saying that is wrong, it's your strategy, but you are much more than that. You are much more than that. Exactly, has being worried all the time. Look that why I'm being worried all the time. Maybe there's a pattern from your ancestors and your parents that you are addicted, and society. Look to our news, it's only fear, fear, fear. So use your addiction, if they are big, even if they are subtle, to bring awareness, and you will discover so much about yourself, so much about how you relate, how you live your life. I see so many people in this, and we work with that. It's not see from outside, and I can give you thousands of my examples. I saw my parents becoming workaholics and my grandparents, in name of intellectuality, in name of healing others, being doctors, in name of money, in name of social position. That as a child, I felt a big loneliness, because uh, not uh, not being understood in my depth. So I can see even now how, even working with myself for years, how this workaholic in me is still acting. And how to work with that, how to see a child in myself that doesn't know how to play and is so serious, and sometimes and not having even humor in the most beautiful situation, how that is so strong in me. How can I work with that, to be conscious of that and have deep compassion for myself, and taking the steps not to judge and criticize me? How can I come back to my kids and to put myself there and play with them, and to see how hard it is for me to play? and how is easy for others to be sarcastic, and how easy for others, it's the opposite behavior, to always be playful, playful, playful all the time. So they avoid the serious of life, though they avoid to be responsible. And why? Because they have deep pain too. Deep pain. They can't sustain to really face the facts of life. They always need to do a joke of everything, because somehow the pain is so deep inside of them that they need to become these clouds all the time. So they call attention, so they leave the happy time, because this pain, this childhood that is in pain, they can't sustain, they can hold a depth to deal with that. All of us, we have these subtle corners in our soul that we want to avoid. And for example, for years, being a child of sexual abuse, for years, I saw how I became addicted of somehow using others or rejecting others so I could avoid this pain, or I could get pleasure in this momentum that I wanted. And how that is still subtle in our energy body, and how all these wounds can show us the true awakening of the soul. Because the more we go into this depth where we face all the wounds, not from addictive place, but from a seeker place, that one day we even need to release the seeker inside of us, where we can, through going through this, we grow into this deep compassion from ourselves and others, of this silence, where the criticism starts to come to an end, where judgment comes to an end, because we go beyond what the mind is always trying to put in boxes, to analyze, to criticize, but we go to a true experience of being here. And that only comes through this coming back home to who we truly are. So addictions are a gateway, a door of perception for you to grow. It's not addictions, is not where you need to judge yourself more, because addictions are showing you your wound. So I pray that today's talk can really support you to face addictions as a totally new perspective. It's time to stop judging. It's time to stop to avoiding the recognition that you have addictions. It's a time to really face and to use them, so you can meet your true authentic self, and you can live free from behaviors and thoughts and feelings that puts you always in the same place, that is to avoiding certain wounds and to trying to find this connection, this belonging, this relaxation, for you to become that relaxation, for you to become this deep state of awareness, this true compassion, this true belonging. You are already. You are already. We are already. So the depth of inner work, the depth of spiritual work that so many in the world are still judging, criticizing, because they are so afraid to look inside, will bring you back home again. So I really pray that this talk about addictions in 1 hour and 14 minutes, of course, can help you. So you can always listen, and if you have someone, you can speak about this, not judging themselves, but to really see addiction as a door to confront themselves and to bring more awareness to that moment, so they can see why they are doing what they are wanting to get and what they are avoiding. And through that, they can grow. Through that, they can blossom more. So if you have a question, you can always send to me, and I will try to answer you by email, by Facebook, by whatever the ways we find here, or even now. So before we end our session, we will say our last peace meditation that we need to find in this moment of humanity, so we rise consciousness and peace vibrations in all human beings, in all sensing beings and non-sensing beings. There's no separation of matter and spirituality. We want to do this difference. There is no differences. We are all here together, even in energetic fields only, even in other dimensions. There's no separation. It's only our minds and the way we have been living for centuries that we do it. So everyone, take a deep breath. Put your feet on the ground. Put your hands in your heart. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Visualizing a door to your heart. And you see that door opening to your heart. A beautiful place where this transparent fire burns intensely, full of vitality and life. You can't see it, but you can sense it. You can feel it. And this force of life is burning inside of you. Now you invite planet Earth to come inside of your heart, and you surround all the beings, sensing beings, non-sensing beings, all the planet with this force of life, this burning fire full of vitality, and you share this vibration of life with all and everything. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Sharing this love. Sharing this silence. Sharing this peace. Sharing this vitality with everything. Breathing in, breathing out. Feeling this peace in you. Feeling this source of life in you. Breathing in, breathing out. And for the ones that you feel it can be too much, you invite planet Earth to go to the universe, and you close your door without any judgment and criticism inside of you. You just close the door and you send planet Earth back to you, to the universe, breathing in, breathing out, with a lot of love and tenderness and respect and compassion and gratitude. And for the ones that you are okay to sustain planet Earth in your heart, in your fire of life, you close the door, breathe in, breathe out, and all of us sending the most beautiful prayers for all the beings, sensing beings and non-sensing beings, full of peace and life and love and compassion and peace. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out, and open your eyes. So everyone, I hope this session helps you to see addictions not from a point of view of judgmental thoughts and attitudes, or has a criticism, but has a gate for new perception, a gate for new possibilities of who you truly are, of a way of dealing with yourself, has a conscious being that you just need more attention, and you need true self-love and true care of your being. use this. Use, because you are important. Your life really matters. Your actions matters. Your heart matters. Sometimes your smile is the only smile that the others has. And use your life. You are alive. Anything that you feel is about yourself, and through that you can grow. Through that you can blossom. Through that you can give a hand to someone that really needs. So if you know that someone needs help, we have this We Stay Together movement totally for free, that we have 36 awareness facilitator trainees. On the second year, they are volunteered to help you, to listen to you, to share with you tools that they can help you to deal with emotions with these times of quarantena. You can go to Working with Satya in the Facebook, in the website, and you can see that. So we are really here for you, and it's a place where we share as human beings. So I hope from my heart that I can support you. And of course, I'm doing this from the place where I am, in my awareness. I don't want you to think that I play the guru role, because I don't. That's why I always share where I am and my wounds and my difficulties, so you really understand that we are all together. And I hope always that I can rise so I can support you much better. And if you do the work with honesty, you will see how you feel your uniqueness, and you don't need to compete or to judge nobody, and you don't need to put others smaller. Because when we are doing truly deep work, we know how much uh, is needed from our own part to grow, and we become even more simple and even more honest and even more direct, and at the same time more conscious. So breathing in, breathing out. It was again an honor to be here with you, and I will end broadcast. Um, and here we have our We Stay Together facilitators, trainees, that they are volunteers, saying, "Here we are." And thank you so much that you give your time to people that they are in need right now in every country. So ending broadcast in Facebook. See you on Thursday. And one thing is, on Friday, Tuesdays will be more therapeutic, so we can move on in life and we go back into our wounds. And on Fridays will be more spiritual talks. At the end, both are the same, because it's about consciousness, how to rise consciousness in ourselves. So both, they go hand by hand, but we will rise in different dimensions. Tuesdays, more about therapy and rising consciousness through our life, and Fridays more about spiritual talks and other dimensions. All my gratitude to you. Stay safe, stay aware. Ending broadcasting on Facebook. See you on Friday. All my love to you.